Diary of a Sociopathic mother-in-law next door entry. Today's date is Monday the 11th of August 2025. It's now been 2 weeks since the husk expressed a desire to stab us with a knife. Since that day, I've been on holiday with the Beacon and our daughter to North Devon. Had a great time. Weather's been good. Enjoyed our company. Most importantly, enjoyed escaping the husk in the ATM. So yeah, it's been 2 weeks since she expressed a desire to stab me. Quite frankly, because I won't let her get away with being a total selfish, moral, abusive mother. And the cruel things that she says to everybody, especially when she's not happy. She's being challenged, she gets even more crueler. So I couldn't sleep that night. And I decided just to kind of protect myself, not physically, although I wouldn't put it past her. If I ever challenge her again, I would not doubt that she would carry out that threat. If she did assault me anyway, I don't know if I said that in the last one, she did start hitting me to get me. Well, I'm not even sure she was trying to get me out of the house. I was leaving. As I was leaving, things started to escalate, and she went and started hitting us. It's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. She is potentially violent. She's getting away with everything in her life in terms of her narcissistic, selfish, cruel personality. She does well to hide behind that mask, behind the husk. She puts on an act. There's always somebody she doesn't like. She's always got to have somebody she's bitching about. She's just not a very nice person. But when it's your family, you kind of put some of the warning signs to one side. So anyway, yeah, I don't doubt that if she was pushed enough, i.e. if I pushed back at her enough and told her enough truths to get her back up, yeah, I'd have no doubt she'd turn to some sort of physical violence. So anyway, I decided to report this to the authorities, the fact that she's made a veiled threat. Now, I don't want them to do anything, and I certainly don't need any protection by the authorities. The reason I did it was so that it's on record. That's it. It's on record that that's what she did. I've got it recorded, and it's on official record, and that protects me. That if anything else happens again, it's on record. But also, it also protects me in the community, because she'll be going round telling the community of the small village where I live, my home, which I bought, built, paid for her to come and live, she'll be going around that community trying to discredit me. It's how people like her get their revenge. Lies, rumours, get you back that way. Because she's just confident that people will believe her above me if it even gets back to us. As long as she can go out and feel like she can hold her head up, that's all she wants. And she'll lie to get that. Even though what she should be doing is just keeping her private family business to herself. But she can't. That's why we're in this mess. Because she couldn't do that in the first place. She couldn't respect our privacy, and she couldn't respect any, the fact that any internal conflict should have stayed internal. So, if anything comes back to me, if anybody has the backbone to say anything to me, which they'll probably not, because they're all cowards in this village. Certainly people she hangs around with, that's not a blanket statement. The sort of she is part of the gossip clique. So anyway, if any of them got the backbone to come up to me, then I'll just be throwing that truth. It gives me the option of throwing that truth bomb in their face. Did she tell you that I've reported her to the authorities for threatening to stab us? Has she told you that bit when she was telling you all about how such a bad son-in-law I am? Did she tell you that bit? I should stop them in their tracks. And that's the truth, because I have. That's it. It's the only reason I did it. I want that on record. Don't want any help or support of the authorities. I can look after myself, thank you. So anyway, and that's all they've done. They've just logged it. So, 2 weeks. Obviously, I've had to explain all of this to the beacon, which I had to do on holiday, which wasn't exactly how I wanted to start my holiday. But unfortunately, the police, the authorities, completely ignored my clear request not to contact me while I was on holiday. And what did they do? Contacted me while I was on holiday. And where was I? In the shower block. Who answered the phone? The beacon. Now, because of the numpties, which is what they are, it's a stupid thing to do. When somebody is reporting something like that, you should request. You should respect the request, because you don't know how sensitive things are. You don't know what the environment is that the person who's reported whatever incident, you don't know what the environment is, how vulnerable they are. So anyway, she answered the phone when they stupidly rang. But obviously, they told her who it was, but they couldn't tell her what it was about. So, for the rest of the time I was in the shower block, the beacon was completely, worrying, thinking that they had phoned the police on me or something. So obviously I explained to her straight away. I had already told her the story. But I explained to her that I felt compelled to report it to the authorities, just so it's logged. So that was a great start of the holiday. But we're strong. She understands the position I'm in. Sometimes there's certain things I have to point out that she might not have appreciated. It's difficult for each of us to totally 100% put ourselves in each other's shoes unless it's properly explained to each other. And that's what we've both been doing. And we've got to respect each other's predicaments. So it didn't spoil anything. It was just, I was annoyed that I had to have this conversation on holiday. But anyway, I had already told the Beacon before we went on holiday, because on the morning we were leaving, which was the day after she confessed a desire to stab us, we were leaving in the morning to go on holiday. It was only, I don't know, it was only about 9:30 in the morning. We weren't leaving particularly early. She comes walking up the drive. So this is only, you know, the following morning, following the veiled threats. And my daughter's there. It's myself, Beacon, and my daughter. I was standing on the driveway, just finishing getting things packed into the car, into the van. And she just walks up the driveway with her dog, as if nothing is wrong. As in, I mean, you can tell it's an act. Me and the Beacon can tell it's an act, obviously. But you know, she's acting like everything's fine. Oh, enjoy your holiday. What time are you off? And then she's being really nice to my daughter. And I know she's doing it partly to rub my face in it. Because she brings, that's what she does, she brings children, young people, into a little game dynamic. Well, because she thinks wrongly that we're not going to explain all of this to our daughter. In due course and with care, it'll all be coming out though. It'll all become known to our daughter what an absolute abusive bitch her grandma is. So anyway, and then the first thing she says, you got everything you need? To my daughter, do you need any money? Well, it all comes back to money, doesn't it? It's the only thing you've got to offer your granddaughter, isn't it, Husk? Money. You've got nothing more to offer her. But you know, our daughters, she understands pretty much what money is. I.e., it has no value whatsoever. It's a piece of paper. And it has no worth. Not like morality and compassion and actually caring about your family. Their values, that's what gives somebody worth. So anyway, our daughter knows what the real value in the life is. And she just went, no, I'm fine. Alright, get in. You've got nothing to offer her, Husk. Nothing. You're totally stuck in. This is a fake act in this fake family, and you've got nothing, no tactic to try and fix it, and no actual tactic to actually show anything to your own granddaughter of any worth, because you're a worthless husk. So anyway, our daughter says, okay, I'm away now, and she always says I love you to our family. Okay, I love you. 15-year-old, and she always says I love you even when she's just leaving the room in the home. It's lovely. Anyway, she says, okay, I'm away now, love you. And the host goes, love you more. And I couldn't help myself. I had to just snigger, making it obvious They say to you, that's her response. What a joke. You don't know how to love, man. You haven't got any love in you. Yeah, this is just a repeat. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. You've learned to say that. Learned behaviour. But I'll tell you what else it is. On the odd occasion, in the recent past, when the beacons tried to make it up with the husk, and the beacon will be doing all the work, all the groundwork, trying to make everything right, all the talking, all the compromise, and then just say, look man, I love you. And that's what the husk says back to her. I love you more. It's what it is, right? It's not a term of affection. It's a put down. You can't live up to me. I love you more than you love me. What? It's like you have to go one better. It diminishes what the beacon has said, or whoever is saying it. I love you. And it's said in such a deadpan way. It's like it's a put down. It diminishes what the person's just said. That's what that is. But she thinks she can get away with it. Like, I'm not saying she's doing it consciously to my daughter. It's just what she does. I never, ever say that to my daughter. We used to. But there's a way you can say it, especially when you're saying it to a child. But anyway, since she's matured a bit, we just say it back, but with pure sincerity. None of that comes out of the husk, because there's none inside the husk. So anyway, our daughter went in the house, but she picked up on my behaviour. The husk scuttled off, because what the husk wants to do, she wants to cause friction between. She knows what she's doing. She wants to cause friction between me and the beacon. So she's purposely antagonising me on the drive by just pretending everything's absolutely perfect, and she's letting that dog pull her onto my part of the garden, as if the dog is, she can't control a dog, and she knows that it's antagonising us. And how do I know she knows? Because it's antagonising us, and she knows that. That's why she wouldn't dare do that if it was just me and her. She wouldn't dare do that if it was just me and the beacon. It's because my daughter's there. She knows that gives her an advantage to try and get away with stuff, because she thinks we'll not have a go at her in front of our daughter. So anyway, daughter goes in the house, husk goes in the house. Beacon's not very happy with us, because my daughter has picked up on whatever that was in her mind, and she's not very happy. She's upset. She obviously does not want to see any animosity between her and Grandma and her parents. So she went upstairs and she was upset, and so it did cause friction between me and the beacon. That's what the husk wants, because ultimately that's part of what she's envious of the beacon. She's got a solid marriage. It doesn't mean we're perfect, it means we're solid, and she's never had that, never will, and she wants to get between it. She wants to destroy it. That's what all of this is about. Ultimately, she wants to destroy anything that the beacon's got that is above her, or that she hasn't got, never has had. She'd be quite happy for her to be a single parent, smoking vapes like her. with losing her job, cannot hold down a steady job. Anyway, so a bit of friction between me and the beacon, and then I went upstairs. I said, right, just leave it to me, I'm sorry. Went upstairs and I had a word with my daughter, and I explained best I could without giving her the grim details. I explained the position, and I explained why I'm not happy with her grandma. Exactly, without the detail, but I told her exactly why. Because of the way she's treating us and the beacon, your mum. And I explained how, you know, do not for one second think grandparents are perfect. Children only ever see the nice side of grandparents. Don't think for 1 second that that's what they are. Just like you occasionally have an argument with your parents. Parents aren't perfect. Grandparents are the same. They're somebody's parents. They're not perfect. She's far from perfect. And anyway, I explained as best I could. And she totally got it. Totally got it. And she came out of a little I don't want to call it a strop because she was 15. It wasn't a strop. It was just she wasn't very happy with what she witnessed between her own dad and grandma. Plus, she can tell there's friction between her own mum and her grandma. So I've explained it. This is what the husk doesn't understand, but she doesn't care. Ultimately, deep down, she does not care. She only cares about her. She doesn't care that ultimately her own granddaughter, her only granddaughter, is going to end up having absolutely no respect for her. I was going to say she doesn't realise this, but she doesn't care. That's the more appropriate way of putting it. So yeah, fixed that little problem and said to the beacon, look, I'm never ever want to speak to her ever again. I don't want him on my property ever again, and I'm not going in that lair ever again. As far as I'm concerned, any privileges that she has with our daughter will be very, very limited. Not because we're going to control our daughter, but that's what I will be working towards, is making sure she understands what a bitch her grandma is, and you know, I'm pretty sure she'll see that since she's got this man that she doesn't have anything to do with her anyway. It's pathetic. So we've come back from holiday. I've been back about a week, 6 days, and yeah, no contact. Haven't even. I mean, I don't want any contact with her, but the beacon, no contact, no texts. Hasn't bumped into her. She hasn't even really been in her lair since I got back. I've only seen her a couple of times, so she's pretty much seems to be spending most of her time at his house, which is the way it should have always been. But it's just sad. It must be 6 weeks now since the incident which really flared up it's just incident after incident. 6 weeks ago was when she said those 3 particularly nasty things. About the beacon. The beacon persuaded her to move here. The beacon is making me treat her like this. Stepdad never wanted to live here. basically saying that of both, and then lying about a financial predicament. She said she couldn't afford to live at all in her previous house. That's a lie. Went through her finances with a fine-tooth comb. Remember, I said this in earlier entries. Financial transparency was vital. I want to know what I'm getting myself into. And obviously part of that transparency meant that I could see exactly what her financial predicament was. She could easily afford to live in that house. Her anxieties, or at least this is how they were sold to us, her anxieties were the future, having to do maintenance to the house, repairs, replacements. She couldn't afford to go on holiday. She was still doing a part-time job, and we wanted to take all of that away from her, all of those anxieties. She could have quite easily afford to live in that house the way she had been for years and years and years. So that's a lie, which begs the question. Oh yeah, so anyway, before I go on to that, before I continue with that, it was about 6 weeks ago she said all of these things, and she still to this day has not apologised or made a proper attempt to contact her own daughter and apologise for these things, because she's buying her time. As far as she's concerned, she's sitting on her arse every night, and the Beacon should run round after her, go round to hers and beg for the apology. But anyway, 6 weeks, it's just pathetic, and obviously it's just escalated with this whole stabbing thing. So, going back to the finances, so she's willing to tell a lie in the moment to make it sound like, because originally she said the Beacon persuaded her to come here. Well, I know that's a lie, and she knows that's a lie. And now she's trying to change it to that. Oh no, I had no choice because we couldn't even afford to live. She's now changing it. When she can see it's not working, she changes it. So she's changed it to we couldn't afford to live. Well, that's a lie as well. Because like I say, I saw her finances. So I was saying to the Beacon on holiday, so if she's willing to lie about her financial situation and the reasons why she moved here, if she's willing to lie now, then you have to assume she was willing to lie at the time. And because obviously if it was the truth in the beginning, she would stick to it. This is simple stuff. If it was true in the beginning, she would have stuck to it. And so I don't believe the original reason, the anxieties about maintenance and upkeep of the house. I don't believe that now. What I believe it now, this is my working theory, is that the seed was planted that this might be possible, and that seed was planted. I try to trace it back possibly to 2015, i.e. the year we actually moved here 10 years ago. I can trace it back to there. The first time it was possibly mentioned that it might be possible to do this. So she's waited 7 years. You know, she moved in 3 years ago. She's very, very patient. That's what they say about sociopaths. They're very, very patient. As long as they get what they want, as long as they can see progress. So I believe since the seed was planted, she just thought, the Beacons moved away, because I don't know if you remember, she put on this stupid fake crying act when the Beacon told her she was moving 25 minutes up the road. And she's just envious. That's it. She's envious, jealous. She wants a piece of what the Beacon's got. That's it. And she, she had a bit of an old tatty house, you could say. Just needed a lick of paint and some money spent on it. A bit of money spent on it. But no, she wanted something new, all new. That's what, it's all materialistic. She'll just say yes because it's something new, novelty. It's like the ego loves novelty. Just like when you buy a new car, it's the novelty in the main. It's your ego which is making the decision above your emotions, your ego and your emotions above actual logic. But anyway, that's what she wanted. She wanted a piece of what the beacon's got, because she thinks she's entitled to it, because she never wanted it. She has children for, to trap men and to secure a lifestyle and security. That's what she's willing to have children to do that. And inevitably, she has to sacrifice things for those children when it doesn't work out. And which is your duty as a parent, but to her, she's resentful. She's resentful that she's had to sacrifice things for her children. Not that she's sacrificed much, she's only done the bare basics of what a parent is actually charged to do. But to her, she sees it as, she's sacrificed all these things to bring these kids into the world and actually just fulfill her basic duties. So when they're successful, she wants a piece of it. And that's my current working theory. That's why she's here. She's manipulated and lied and wormed her way into our home, to our village, community, and now she's going to destroy it. She's going to destroy it, or she's going to try and destroy my reputation. This is not coincidence. This is who she is. And it just going back to when she first did the crocodile tears act in relation to being worried about money in the future. I'm sure I said it like this on here. She waited until Roadkill and her husband had left the caravan that they were stopping in. They had left it to go back to their caravan. And as soon as they left, she turned on the fake waterworks and told us this sob story. Why did she wait? Just for them to go? Because the story wasn't for them. It was for us. That story and that show, that pantomime, was for us.